With the first and goal, Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. I said so, I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood, so ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
What is up, Wolfpack? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves here with your Week 6 Sunday Tailgate. Normally, I am joined by the silent assassin, CJay, but the silent assassin's living up to his name was with me for a second. I don't know what happened, and if it's technical difficulties, maybe he'll pop in mid-show. We do need his props later. He's been on fire with those, so we shall see, but I'm getting it started because we go right up till kickoff every Sunday with your sit starts, all your breaking news, inactives, actives, all that good stuff. So let's get it forward. Let's get it going. Get your questions on in. Any likes and shares are so greatly appreciated for those of you tuned in live. The thumbs up button on YouTube or Periscope giving us that like, as well on Facebook. If you drop it in any groups you're in, so great to get discovered and seen by more people. But everybody, get your questions on in. Let's cover some crucial news from this week as it gets going. No Thursday night football to cover, but huge news regardless to kick off here. Le'Veon Bell going to the Chiefs. What do we make of this? Well, for him, anything's better than the Jets. Yeah, maybe he had more volume guaranteed in New York, but behind that line, within a Gase offense, just awful. And he now landed in probably the highest upside spot, Le'Veon Bell, in case he can take over that role. I don't think he will. He hasn't looked great in recent years, certainly not back to his Steelers form, but that doesn't mean he won't be without a role. A great pass catching back, has a full route tree, and that's something Andy Reid will definitely capitalize on. So it will be, I don't think 50-50 exactly. I think Clyde stays the main guy, 60-40-ish split, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now anyways with Darrell Williams. We're just going to get a more souped up, better version of Williams, maybe about 10 to 15% more of the volume Le'Veon Bell will take than what Darrell was taking. But to me, I'm liking these offers I'm seeing Clyde Edwards-Helaire go for. I mean, people are asking me, do I trade him for David Johnson? Like, you still have the main back in the Chiefs offense, in my opinion. So I think this makes him, again, maybe I'm being stubborn, but a buy low. The way people are reacting, 5 of his last 10 games come against bottom 7 defenses against the run. So if people are panicking over their Helaire shares, of course this doesn't help his long-term value, but I consider him still a quality high-end RB2, maybe low-end RB1. I don't think Bell is going to just suddenly come in here and take the gig. So that's what I consider that situation. In addition to just news this week, and also Bell cannot play this week. Just want to make sure that is clear. So you will get a Helaire on Monday night just by himself. Maybe this fires him up. That's the best case. This fires him up. He plays even better, and this just kind of pushes him to reach his ceiling. My expectations are it's a little bit lower. This ends up being a 60-40 split where Hilaire's, especially the goal line volume, could be now up for grabs, which he wasn't scoring a ton of touchdowns anyways, frustratingly. This is not going to help there. But I don't think this is the death knell a lot of people are making it out to be, especially with some of these offers I'm seeing Clyde Edwards-Helaire go for. I would be tossing out a buy low to his owner right now and trying to figure out what I can get Helaire for. In news this weekend, other RB2s. Melvin Gordon does not travel with the team. He's got an illness. So Phillip Lindsay coming right back and going to see about 15 touches is my expectation in this first game back from that turf toe, practicing in full all week. Gordon was already in some deep shit with his DUI, so was likely to miss a series or two, but ultimately now he's missing the entire game. So Lindsay at 4,300 on DraftKings, up to running back 23 in my rankings, becomes a high-end RB2 that was dropped a lot of places coming into this week. So check your waiver wire. Maybe he's still out there, probably not at this point with the news of the DUI, but I think he's definitely in play as a top 25 running back. So quality RB2 flex play there with Gordon out. I don't think this Patriots run D, the 5th fewest points to running backs. They don't scare me that much though. So a great value play on DraftKings, great bet for volume if you need a potential injection of that into your lineup. Now, Leonard Fournette, he's expected to play. He's expected to be active, but in a limited role. So I got some questions earlier in the week. Ronald Jones with Fournette back. Should I be worried? No. I think Ronald Jones is going to eat. That Green Bay defense is pathetic against the run. They're going to try to keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands at least early on. And Ronald Jones looks, reborn. Just he had some nice runs in his sophomore season, but we're seeing those with far more regularity. I'm dare I say, a Ronald Jones fan. I know it's a pretty divisive group on Twitter, whether you like Jones or not. Clearly, the hands are nothing special. A lot of drops there, but as a just pure runner, the dude's looking great this year. And I don't think, unless he gives them a reason to go to Fournette today, whether that be a fumble or just flat out sucks, which I don't expect, I think we're going to get a full complement of Ronald Jones that would have been there had Fournette just been active. I don't think we're going to get Fournette on the field unless it's truly dire or desperate or Ronald Jones really messes up. So I have him right in my top 20 running backs. I think he's definitely a good bet to hit 80 to 90, maybe even 100 yards and find the end zone too. Big fan of Ronald Jones this weekend. Last few notes, not a ton of stuff to cover here today. So we'll be right to your questions. Saw 25 of them already. Again, we'd like to get up to like 200 or so. We want to hit them all. So Godwin, though, off the injury report, both Bucs studs are going to be lined up with Tom Brady for pretty much the first time. They've been like on the field, off the field. This is the first time we're going to see that. And again, expected shootout, 54 over under for the game tonight. So that I think this obviously helps that over potentially get hit. I'm a big fan of that over too. I think Rodgers Brady duel with Rodgers in fuck you mode is going to be an interesting one. A great just 4:00 game. The other one being the Jets Dolphins. So at least we get one exciting game on the docket. I think Godwin has to be right back in the lineups. Top 15 or so play, a great DraftKings contrarian play at 6,400. And Brady with both studs back has to be in your top 10 quarterbacks for the week in this expected shootout. Deontay Johnson going to be out with his back injury. Chase Claypool right back to the well. I mean, I had no idea that was going to happen. Nobody did other than the dude that won the Millie Maker, 45 points from Chase Claypool. He's only 5,200 this week, though. Now Johnson's not playing. Right into my top 25-ish receivers of the week. That upside is enormous. I think we could just be seeing like a rookie season A.J. Brown like last year because he's such a physical. Chase Claypool is dominant athlete after the catch, at the catch point, solid run. I mean, the routes have been much better than I think any of us could have expected. Just, again, a pure freak, 6'4", 4.3 speed, 40-inch vertical. And the thing I like about Mike Tomlin is when he finds something that works, he just peppers it. Same with Big Ben, right? Antonio Brown for so many years, Le'Veon Bell, let's give him 25 carries, James Conner. He goes to his guys, Mike Tomlin. And last week, Claypool became the guy because Deontay got hurt. And how did he respond? To 11 targets, hauls in 7 of them, and scores 4 touchdowns in addition to 3 carries. So they use him versatilely. They move him all over the place. What's not to love about this guy? So I'm all in on Claypool. All in. If you bid, you're 40% to get him. Why would you not have him in your lineup? The Chiefs the Browns giving up, I think, the 3rd most points to wide receivers. Just very generous through the air. I'm all about it. Get Claypool on in. If you bid the farm for him, I think we're going to see again why this week. Potential league winner, in my opinion. Now, Deshaun Jackson, he's out for week 6, but expected to return in week 7. So maybe check your waiver wires. I know he's out there in about 75% of leagues, and it's not like it's a must sprint to your waiver wire and go get him. He didn't do shit when he was healthy, but especially with benches increased in length in a lot of leagues, and if you just have some trash, it might be worth a stash. Now, it's not like an exciting running back stash, Pollard out there and something happened to Zeke. Not exciting, obviously, if something happens to Zeke, but you could gain some big value by adding someone like a Pollard. You're not going to gain any necessary value coming into next week. But if you're a wide receiver needy, especially with bye weeks hitting, he always has that big play threat. Fulgham's been getting it done. This offense seems to be finding its wings, the Eagles, a little bit. So I think Deshaun Jackson is worth a speculative add some places. But again, upside running back certainly would be towards the higher of my priority. Like last week, Alexander Madison was out there in about 60% of leagues. If you stashed him, you now suddenly have yourself a top 7 running back because Dalvin Cook is out for this week. Probably that's about it. They have the bye next week. It's a 2 to 6 week injury, but he was kind of limited. It even got back in the game. It didn't seem like it was anything overly serious. So I imagine this is your 1 week of Madison. And I think he's going to eat against Atlanta, giving up the 2nd most to running backs, a ton of those points coming through the air. And Madison, a capable receiver, certainly can get it done. So you should see about 100-ish to 100, up to 150 or so total yards if he really goes crazy. Should find the end zone at least once. I think that game does go back and forth, and it is a nice little shootout, largely because Julio Jones will also be returning. He's off the injury report, and it's a blow-up spot. I bet we got some Julio questions in here. We seem to get them every week. A lot of hate to Julio coming through this show. Not from me, from the fans usually. So we'll see if Julio's going to play. It seems likely off the injury report. And should you have him in lineups? Most likely, in my opinion. Blow-up spot against the Vikings. He only 6,700 on DraftKings. A decent pivot if you want to, obviously Ridley 7,800, my preferred play, safer play, but Julio could be the one that just goes 152, has a bananas Julio day. He's probably in my lineup, despite the, of course, risk of re-injury. We saw it happen on Monday a couple weeks ago. I could understand why people would be gun shy, but the fact that he's off the injury report tells me he's fully ready to go. He's had didn't play at all last week. I think we're good. I think we're out of the woods here. So fan of that. We'll get him in lineups. And then the last note, let me know. I can't really navigate Twitter while doing the show, but if you see any notes on DJ Chark, Slayton, Edelman, Odell, John Brown, Landry, they're all expected to play. But just in case any of those guys who are questionable end up being a surprise inactive, or if anything big happens on Twitter that I can't see, please, of course, let me know. I will be happy to cover it. That's all the news I have, folks. So it is on to your sit starts the rest of the way here. Get them on in. Let's make this a good one. Ladies and gents. Alexander McCormick starting things off over on YouTube here. More Edelman, Edmonds, or Freeman PPR. More certainly the highest end talent. But against Chicago, I'm not into that. They're very good in specific to the slot receiver, at defending the slot receiver. So I'm not into the receivers quite as much this week for Carolina as I was certainly last week against Atlanta. Edelman's riskier, but the matchup's ripe against the Broncos. I can't go to Edmonds yet until I know he has it, Alex. As exciting as he's been, it's just you never know if he just gets 2 touches this week and Drake goes off. That backfield is kind of a nightmare. I own both, and it's like my debate of my existence. Freeman, the Redskins, the volume, probably the highest floor of anybody's Freeman. Saw about 60% of the snaps, about 70% of the carries. He's going to get the work. I personally think Edelman scores the most out of these options, but if you're hesitant there, you want the high floor, it'd be Freeman. More certainly the best player, but not where I'm going. So I like Edelman personally. Start one, bench one, drop one for Bears or Carolina D. Oh, don't love either. I guess Bears, just because they seem that the secondary is legit. They could break through that line and get there. I like Jory. I would go Bears for the defense. And then of those QBs, Cousins has that matchup today, but I like Cam. And Cousins has the lowest long-term ceiling. Like, yes, against Atlanta, probably the best place to use him. He's going to eat today. But I'd rather stash Stafford and roll Cam out. If you really want the highest floor there, it is Stafford. Today, if you're 25-point favorite. But ultimately, I'm going to go Cam. I think the upside's huge, but certainly a lower floor. So give me Cam, keep Stafford on the bench, cut Kirk is what I'm kind of doing there, Jory. But if you don't want to stomach that Cam risk, I get it. And Stafford's a great option against the Jags. I'm just all in on the Pats, of course. Hey, fellas, it's only solo so far, Miss Jageer, but good to see you. Glad you tuned on in per usual, your Sunday traditions. Might crack a nice swish in honor of you for getting me those, Katie. But you need a wide receiver too and a flex. You got A.J. Brown, Lamb, Parker, Gibson, full PPR. I'm going to rip Brown and Parker there and hit Gibson and Lamb onto the bench. And that's not because I dislike those guys. I just really like Brown and Parker that much more. Brown looked great in his first game back. I haven't seen any word on Humphreys or Corey Davis, but both guys were out, and I think they should be out again. So if not, let me know. Comment on it if you guys see anything. But either way, Brown just looks great. He's going to get Bradley Roby, a good corner, who shut down some pretty talented guys, but he also gave up a huge day to Thielen. So I'm not worried about it. I think that they're going to go off today, the Titans. That's kind of my big prediction for DraftKings is I'm all in on Tannehill, Brown. Like, I think Henry's going to steamroll. We're going to get like 40-something points from the Titans today. They've been dominant so far. So knock on wood, hope I don't jinx them. But that's the offense I'm kind of going all in on. Love me some A.J. Brown. And then Parker, I mean, he's getting 15 fucking targets every week. It's crazy. But Fitzmagic loves him. The Jets certainly not a threatening offense. And it seems like anytime Gase's former players, Gesicki, and Parker, who just sucked under Gase and now get a chance to flourish. They seem to really like to stick it to him. Not that you need extra incentive for Parker, but I love Parker. I love A.J. Brown. Lamb, I can't wait to see what he does and see if his game, I think it's going to mesh pretty well with Dalton. I think he's going to be A-okay, but you got those other two safer options. So let's go about that. It's my opinion, Katie. So let me know if you need any other questions, but absolutely that's where I'm leaning, Brown and Parker. How are we feeling about Phil Lindsay for Talk TC Sports? I mean, like it, like not going to sit here and say I'm in love with Lindsay. We haven't seen him make it through a full game yet this year, but should be fully ready to go. I think the player himself, I've loved watching Lindsay the last couple of years. Just so hard-nosed and tough, and like you can tell he really just has this pride about the way he plays, and he's going to get a chance to showcase his game today. He's going to go out and play his absolute hardest. And the Pats D doesn't really scare me this year. So yeah, I like Lindsay. Good bet for 15-ish touches. Could find the end zone. We'll see. I don't even hate Royce Freeman, to be honest, as a desperation streamer out there in almost every league, and they might showcase him to trade him. So don't hate it, but I obviously prefer Lindsay. He's good at the stripe, so I should see him getting it. So yeah, I like Lindsay a lot. Top 24 running back for me. Let me know if you have any sit starts with him. And again, just I want to pump out, guys. Any likes are always greatly appreciated, regardless of where you're tuned in, Facebook, YouTube, or Periscope. Likes always help us get discovered by more people, and it's huge and greatly appreciated. So if you don't mind that, or sharing it out, retweeting it, and subscribing on YouTube with that bell, always helps us out. So thanks so much. And I do want to pump too tonight, the debut of the post-game tailgate right after Red Zone up until Sunday Night Football. A nice 40-minute quick hitting, who were the studs and duds, the biggest lessons, your early waiver wire. We're going to get it at Seamus, potential return. We got a huge tailgate, both pregame and postgame. We're super stoked to debut, guys. So come on down after the show, have a wind down beer. Let's keep the Fantasy Sunday going as long as we can, right? Depression only has to set in on Monday, not on Sunday. So we'll keep it on ripping. Mr. Maz, great to see you. I love watching the Wolf on Sunday morning. Love it. Love having you here, brother. Jory Rube, you're better without Bill Eyes, CJ. Anyways, I can't say I disagree with you. Thanks for that one, Jory. Mr. Reese, good to see you. Pick 2 flex, full PPR. Maybe we'll even get some Collins on the show tonight. I know Mr. Reese, you'd be interested in that. I'm going to figure out how to get that going for tonight. Drake, McCole, Gibson, Brown, Cook. Who's Cook? Jared Cook probably is my guess. And who's Brown? Like Reese, this is your first year, but remember these kind of common last names. You got to make sure you give me the first name too. I'm going back to the Drake well, and I hate it, but the matchup's right against Dallas. They should be able to move it with ease, the Cardinals, which gives them a good shot at a touchdown. You get the Monday night hope. So I'm still sticking it out with Drake, as gross and annoying as it is. I think we get a nice touchdown. And then if it's Brown, A.J. Brown, I'm going him for sure as my favorite option. I'm not sure if it's Marquise, like which Brown it is. Probably going Brown either way over these other options, but need a little more clarity. The Wolf is the GOAT. Corey Wilkes is the GOAT. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Sarah, half PPR, need 2, Robbie Anderson, Crowder, Jefferson, and Woods. Ooh, great options. And I'm going to go Crowder first. And nobody's realizing this is one of my bigger tweets recently. I tweeted out how, if this was DJ Moore doing what Jamison Crowder's doing, we'd all be circled during his Twitter, because everybody loves DJ Moore. But Crowder's Crowder. He's on the Jets, and it seems that nobody's recognizing he leads the NFL right now in yards per game, over 110. He's had 100 yards and 7 catches in every single game he's played. Now, there's the rub is he's missed 2 games, and that's kind of par for the course with Crowder. But when he's in, it didn't matter whether it was Flacco or him. He just gets it done. He's that big of a part of the offense. I think the Dolphins will put up their points, and Crowder's going to have to chase the points, and he's the engine. That's the one thing Adam Gase might be good for is slot receivers. We saw it with Landry in Miami. He peppers them. So I love Crowder. And then, most weeks it's going to be Robbie. Robbie's the guy, but he is facing Chicago, second worst matchup for receivers. And I want some action in that Minnesota-Atlanta game. I think Jefferson's the highest ceiling here. So I'm going to go Crowder Jefferson, specifically myself. Mr. Giuseppe, I think it's hard to even recognize you. I'm used to seeing, the close-up of the face, the stash. Where's my guy? This distance, by a mountain, very scenic, Giuseppe, but I'm missing the usual picture here, but happy Sunday, dude. Great to see you. Pick 2 running backs, David Johnson, Gibson, Drake, or McCole Hardman. Oh, 2 RB2 and a flex. Gotcha. I feel like David Johnson's in a decent spot. The Titans defense not great. Very middle of the road. Drake's got the upside. I think I'm benching Gibson. I'm going to go 2 running backs here. As the upside of Hardman's real. And if you're an underdog, then I'd go Hardman. I mean, no Sammy Watkins. He's going to be out. That should have been on our coverage here. But he's not playing. And Monday night gives you a nice Hardman. Just the potential's unreal. 40-plus yard touchdowns. He had 4 of them last year on only 26 catches. That's the type of upside the dude has. That was tied for the most in the league with half the volume. So I love Hardman. Huge upside. Most cases, though, I'm going to probably go David Johnson, Drake, get the sure volume, and ride that out. But if you need the injection of upside, I'd bench probably DJ and go Drake, Hardman, the highest ceiling guys, in my opinion there. Gibson I'm intrigued by, but still just like, how can you not shake fucking J.D. McKissick yet? It's not a him problem. It's the coaching staff, but that does get annoying. Fortunately, they should be up against the Giants. That upside's real too. Oh, man, Giuseppe. All great options. You know what? I'm changing. I have Gibson, Drake personally. I'd rather just ride it out together, baby. Go with that unless you really need the upside, and it's Hardman. Slayton, Hardman, Hollywood. Pick 1. Oh, man, you're going to probably get Slay on Hollywood. They're going to try to run it down their throats, so I'm looking elsewhere. I feel like Slayton really got it done, and it's not like the Redskins are a scary matchup, so I think I have Slayton the highest of this group personally for Acropolis Army. Giuseppe, another one. Tannehill or Minshew? I'm going to go Tannehill today. Off like a 30-something point day. So efficient in this defense against the Texans. Another great matchup. Yes, Henry's going to be a steamroller. That doesn't mean Tannehill can't also put up 3 touchdowns. I think they just completely steamroll the Texans. I think the Texans put up their point and keep it a game too. Plus, if Chark sits, that's doubly bad for Minshew. He had a horrible game last time Chark sat. Wolf, I have 2 today from Mr. D'India. Robbie Anderson or Justin Jefferson? I'm going to go Justin, I think. As good as Robbie's been, this is that matchup against Atlanta. Impossible to sit. And then Claypool or Chark. I don't think Chark's playing, and even if he was, I'd be going Claypool all day, baby. That upside's just too real to sit, Mr. D'India. Dalton or Fitzmagic? Give me the Fitzmagic. I like stashing Dalton here and seeing what he does, but Fitzmagic against the Jets, he's been 25 straight points and 4 straight. Like, that dude just gets it done, and this matchup's certainly one of the better ones. Yeah. We got the standard league for Jay Mars. 1 running back and flex. AP, James White, Hilton. Ugh, pretty bad options. I don't even know if Chark's playing. Standard league, I'm going to go AP. I think he could really run all over the Jags today. For the flex, if Chark plays, it'd be him, and if he sits, then I go Cole. Hey, boys. Hey, what's up, Seamus? Looking forward to seeing you tonight, I hope. Fun segment planned with Seamus again on the post-game tailgate tonight after carrying you from Red Zone into the Sunday Night Football. Get you a takeout and join us, get a beer. It's going to be great. 3 running backs. Well, you gave me 3 here. Madison, Taylor, Mixon. Do I have to pick 2 of these 3, or am I picking 3? Because I love all 3. They should all be in my lineup. If I have to bench one, I'm probably going to bench Mixon. As encouraged as I am by the increased usage, tough matchup this week. And Taylor, I'm waiting to see. I don't know if Wilkins is inactive or not. I'm going to pull up the latest news. I haven't seen anything about Wilkins, but that just would give Taylor that much more upside should he miss time. Flex PPR, Claypool, Edelman, or Brandon Cooks. I'm going to go Claypool. And I like Cooks a lot today too, but I'm riding that train, and I don't think anything about it was a fluke. Is he going to hit 4 touchdowns today? No, probably not. But could he hit 2 again? I mean, the guy, it's looking like rookie year Odell, the way he is just running wide open through defenses. Just a freak. It's a freak doing freak things, getting peppered. Why set that one till it gets cool? That's a train I'm going to stay on. Start 1 for J Maz, Gallup, AP, Lindsey, or Cooks. I'm going to probably go Lindsey for the volume. If I need the upside, though, it'd be Cooks. Cooks' biggest ceiling, but Lindsey probably the best floor and the guy I go in most cases. Standard, sit one, Slayton, Gibson, Singletary, Godwin. I think Singletary would be hitting my bench because it's looking very much like we'll get Zach Moss back this week. Singletary underwhelmed when he had the whole job to himself the week before. So I bench Singletary of that group. All the rest of them have very little reason for me to want to hit the bench unless I had a better option. So Singletary it is. Van de Vente, the fullback with the cowboy collar. Looks like a new picture, I think, here for you, Van de Vente. Ward, Pirine, MVS, or Washington, and PPR. Oh, we got to dig pretty deep here. I think I'm going Pirine. That's the lowest of the floors, but I think they're going to be in comeback mode. They've said it's critical. I'm glad you brought him up too. I think he's a great stash. If I'm looking for I have a bench trash and I want to stash something. He's only 12, I think, % owned right now. Pirine, and they talked a lot about this week, Adam Gase, how critical it is going to be to get him involved with Bell. Now, again, do I believe a fucking word that comes out of Adam Gase's mouth ever? Do I really care? No, it's Adam fucking Gase. Disturbing. But at the end of the day, what else could they do? Ride Frank Gore? I mean, knowing Gase, yes, that's probably the end result here. But I like to see what happens with Pirine. I'd rather stash and not have to use him. So in that sense, Aaron, I would probably go MVS. You got Devontae Adams coming back, and that's actually a good thing where he doesn't have to draw number one coverage. You're just looking for one big play. You get some action for that shootout later. Like, that's where I'd lean. But I'm excited to see what Pirine does today, too. Pick 2 for Katie Jagier. Chase Claypool, OBJ, Juju, or Jefferson. That's a good one. I think I'd have like Juju and Claypool above the field. But that being said, I don't love having two teammates in. So dare I say I'd rather have Claypool in my lineup? I think I would. So I'm going to go with the rooks here. Fire up the upside rookies here, Keen. Claypool, Jefferson. Both get good matchups. Both thriving right now. Let's ride it. Keep going with those rookies. Love that you have them both, by the way. That's a Wolf play right there, Keen. K Cool Whip. Who am I flexing, Wolf? Debo or Damian Harris? Oh, boy. I don't think I can go to Debo till I see that offense get some legs. And it's not because I love Damian. In fact, it's the worst possible matchup for running backs, Cool Whip. But 100 yards last time out, Le'Veon Bell did not land there. I think they're going to ride him if they can. I just don't know the matchup's going to allow it, but he could plow into the end zone. Debo, it's like, what do you have, 8 targets and turned in 2 catches and like 10 yards last week? That's terrifying. I can't wait to see him get it together. It's going to be on my bench whenever he does get it together. But I cannot put him into my lineup till I see it. And it's not going to anger me if he blows up on my bench. You just got to understand he's tough to trust right now. We got Giuseppe, Ayuk, Chenault, or Harry PPR. I love Chenault this week. And he'd be the one. He'd be my play here. All like kind of upside stashes, like owning them all. But Ayuk, again, is similar to Debo. I need to see that offense get it back together wherever I can before I get that team back in my lineup. Chenault just keeps getting better and better by the week. 7 catches for 80 yards. A week after, they said we need to get this guy more and more involved. We now might have Chark out. So potentially even more volume. We're going to get a game too where he just goes like 130 and 2. Could be this week. And even if not, it's showing like he's got a really nice floor, especially in PPR because they're designing so many quick hits to get this guy going, get him in space, get him moving. Give me Chenault all day, Giuseppe. Love it. Sarah Riley, need 2, half PPR. Johnson, Mostert, Gibson, Lindsey. I think I'm going to go Mostert for sure. He just came right back to the guy. And Mostert's a great player in that blocking scheme. It's just so fun to watch and root for. So Sunday night, we get to watch him carve it up like that. Get Mostert in there. And then the second one, this is tough. You got like sure volume, but is it going to even be good volume for David Johnson and Lindsey? Gibson, by far the most exciting talent. I think I'm going to toss Gibson in and go for the upside personally. Juan Pena, James White, or Slayton in my flex. And should I start Julio? Yes, on Julio. Risky, yes, but he's off the injury report. They rested it really well for the last 2 weeks, really almost 3 weeks. Played that Monday night game and immediately got taken out. So I have Jones in over either of those guys and just in general over most. But between those other 2 guys, Slayton would be my play. Claypool or DJ Moore or Drake in half PPR. Claypool, baby. Pravinasa. Sorry, I completely butchered that. But YouTube over here. I go Claypool over all those guys for sure. Demir Bird or Harry rest of season? Ooh, I want to say Harry just because it's more exciting of a player, talent. Bird does seem like he could be the guy, though. There's a certain point where you just jump on the unsexy or bust because it's the one that actually goes somewhere. But Harry's made some nice plays, too. I think they're going to keep – I want to see where he blossoms into more than Bird. Lindsey or Boyd flex half PPR. I'm going to stick it out with Boyd for Nugent here. When I probably butchered it. Could be when, could be Nugent. I apologize, Tien. But I think I go Boyd there for half PPR. The apple to Burrow's eye right now. Love it. Claypool or Boyd. Oh, now we get tricky. Where do I draw the line with Claypool? My gut says Claypool. I think I have Boyd. Yeah, I have him higher than Boyd too. I'm leaning Claypool there. Have him above Jefferson. Just under Jefferson. I think I even want him above Jefferson, to be honest. And I'm gonna move CeeDee Lamb. I'm checking my rankings, and I notice I have a couple guys. I just keep saying Claypool over him. So if I'm gonna recommend it, I better rank him that way. So yeah, give me Claypool. Absolutely. Madison Lee, what's up? What's up? That used to actually be my screen name back in elementary or whatever, fucking middle school. What's up? Fournette, McKinnon, Pirine, Dobbins, Ayuk, and standard flex. Man, we're digging deep here, Madison Lee, huh? To me, it comes to nothing is guaranteed out of any of these guys. I wish I could say McKinnon with more confidence, but after last week, what do you have? 3 touches, 1.5 points? Can't go back to that. The gut says that I think Dobbins is finally going to be unleashed one of these weeks. It could be as early as this week, but that's still tough to trust. I guess I just go Ayuk and hope he gains, the last 2 weeks. You imagine Ramsey's going to be on Debo. So I think I go Ayuk, or I just really say F it and hope Pirine catches 8 balls. It's standard, though, so it's the PPR doesn't even help. You're just going for the score. So I go Ayuk. Dobbins, though, it could be this week, but he's similar to Debo. I want to see it before I do him. So yeah, Ayuk for me personally. Mr. Fella, what's up? Do you have any beat the waiver wire players this week? So yeah, Pirine, the one I've been talking about, I think makes a really interesting stash this week on the waiver wire, no doubt. Let's see what he does. Could be immediate, just get the fuck out. But I like stashing him quite a bit. Anybody, Pollard, any of those upside handcuff running backs, we saw it with Madison. If you have the spots for it, you got to have those upside stashes. I also want to make sure to emphasize too, a lot of people don't realize they have IR spots in leagues. Check that you have one, because Lazard's sitting out there in leagues and you can move him to the IR and stash more people. So I'd look and make sure I'm maximizing my IR spot. And then Pirine is the guy that's pretty much always out there. And I just want to see what he does. If Chark is active, is he a must start? No, I honestly don't think so. He makes me pretty nervous. Ankle, it could flare right up. I'm not into it. Truth, I look forward to it as well. I know these are not great choices, but I need to start 2 of these. Oh yeah, you've texted me about this one. It's pretty ugly. Harris, Kirk, Lindsey, Ayuk, McKinnon. I think Lindsey's the lock. And then I like Kirk on Monday Night Football. Gives you that Monday night hope factor. Take the 15 sure touches of Lindsey. And then let's see what Kirk does. A couple big weeks in a row, seems to really be emerging as the clear number 2 after being kind of an afterthought those first 2 weeks. He seems to be rolling now. And Dallas, third most points to wide receivers? I think Kyler Murray's going to bomb them. I mean, Hopkins is going to go completely berserk, 152, whatever it might be. But that doesn't mean there won't be some scraps for Kirk to clean up. And I think he'll clean up quite nicely. So Kirk and Lindsey. Harris is very intriguing, but if I can keep him on the bench against that Broncos stalwart run D, I do. But intrigued by him as well. Just again, that reminds me too, the Truth's going to be joining our post-Sunday tailgate. We always have this pregame one for you, but we figure let's wind down the Sunday. Again, right after Red Zone is our goal. First time ever, so we can't promise anything, but post-game tailgate, quick 40 minutes. We'll hit a few, studs, duds, risers and fallers, waiver wire look. And of course, any questions you guys have lingering, maybe CJ will be alive for his props at that point. Who knows? But we shall see. But please join us right after Red Zone tonight. Look for the signal, set up your alerts to know when we are live. But we will be live answering anything and recapping that Sunday, and probably in some, whether we're joyous or anger, you're going to see it all. And we want you to deliver it all too. That's why we're doing that. And of course, just as I always like to plug mid-show, any likes as we're going, if we're helping you out, a thumbs up means the world, and especially a share to get us onto more eyeballs is always appreciated. So thank you guys again. If you haven't given a thumbs up on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're at, Periscope, means the world. Thank you guys. Now let's get right back in to your questions. Seamus, also looking forward to it. Yep, we got the Wolf. We got Seamus. We're going to be the truth. It's going to be a fun fucking night. I'm excited to see how this one goes. I think you guys are going to come all in fired up when the emotions rise. Like we usually do the Monday recap, but we have a night to sleep on it. Like our depression can slowly go away throughout the day and we can kind of like come to terms with it. But when it's raw, like I can't wait. I'm excited to see how the show does later. Chark Iffy. Trust Mr. 4 Targets for slide. That's a good nickname for Chark, Mr. 4 Targets. I like that one. KH Flight 137. I'd go Jefferson anyways. Definitely. No doubt about it. He's a great option today versus the Falcons. Tannehill or Stafford. I'm getting this one a lot. I'm a Tannehill guy. He's my go-to in DraftKings this week. I think you look at them. What did they put up the last 3 straight weeks? A little bit of a dud in week 1, but I think it's been 40, like 32 and 35, 40 again. Like that offense just cooks. And is he due to regress? I mean, it feels like it. Yeah, of course. The dude has the best like red zone. I think 80% of the red zone plays since last year, since Tannehill took over, have been touchdowns, like a historic conversion rates. Best of like all time, I want to say. It's insane. It seems like they're due to regress, but I also feel like Arthur Smith's just a fucking boss too. They're new, not new, but since last year, their offensive coordinator. I think he's going to be the prime coaching candidate. And Vrabel has those boys disciplined. Like, I think they're going to put up 35 or so regardless. And if we get a nice effort on the other side of things from the Texans and we get a shootout, of all the games to go crazy, that's the one I'm kind of banking on. So I like Tannehill. Yeah, Tunes. All about it. And I like Stafford too, safer against the Jags, but give me Tannehill. That's my play. Steven Drakes, thanks for coming in. As always, full PPR. Would you play John Brown or Chark? I also have Chenault for the flex. I think I'm just going to go Chenault either way, right? Whether Chark plays or not, there's tons of upside there. John Brown's been questionable the last couple of weeks. Love him. And the Chiefs' pass D is actually pretty good. So give me Chenault. Yeah, you're coming down to Monday Night Wire. You got to have some random toss-in backup like Davis. If he doesn't play, he should play. But, like, I don't know. Chenault's such a good option anyways. Let's just roll it. Should I start Josh Allen against the Chiefs? Absolutely. It's shootout mania potential. Allen's got, 30 points in 4 of his 6 starts? Or 5 starts, rather, so far. Like, last week was a dud, yeah, but they're going to get right back on track, Juan. Give me Josh Allen, over most people at least. Hawkinson or Tunyon, PPR. That I have him literally like 6 and 7 there, Tunes. I feel like Hawkinson's a little more safe. Tunyon, if somebody just disappears out of nowhere from those two, it's going to be Tunyon, but like, man, he's got the ceiling. 3 touchdowns last week, but Adams coming back, like, I think we're looking at like 40 in a TD. I think Tunyon does find the end zone, whereas Hawkinson, though, could really hit like 70 to 100 yards. I love Hawkinson. Give it to me. Wolf Pack, what's up? Steven Drakes. Love it. Nathan Vahi. Hi, Wolf. Toon said you're the guy to talk to. There we go. Thank you, Toons. Appreciate you spreading the word, brother. Who should I start, Stafford or Fitz? Oof, great options there. Me personally, I always start Fitz if I have the chance. And against the Jets, I mean, 25 points in 4 straight games. I do think Gaskin's going to eat today. Stafford's certainly safer, higher in most consensus rankings, definitely like the floor. But Fitz seems like he's got the floor too. So I like Ryan Fitzmagic personally. That's where I'm going. You have Gaskins and no one else with the lines. That's a good context to include, but like, I think I just doubled down on them putting 25, 30 points up today. What did they put up against the 49ers last week? Just absolutely destroyed them, right? So I'm going to go and roll with Fitzmagic personally, understanding that it's riskier, but I like it. CD or Scary Terry for Mike Clay. I like Terry. I get the James Bradbury concerns, shadowing him, but not enough for me to shy away. And obviously the Kyle Allen concerns, probably the biggest concerns. But yeah, I'm going Scary Terry. Let's see how CD gets acclimated with Dalton, with Dak now out, obviously. So I'm going to see what Scary Terry does. When he's not matched up with Bradbury, that's a absolute smash secondary. We got Toons, Ayuk, Fulgham, McKinnon, Tunyon, Hawkinson, pick 2 for flex PPR. Not McKinnon and not Ayuk. So, I honestly like going double tight end or benching Tunyon for Fulgham if I want that kind of upside. But give me Hawkinson and Fulgham. Omar, no CJ today. Yeah. Who knows? The mystery. I think he is an old man and said he had a neck injury, so he can't live stream. Something pathetic like that. Who knows? Big Ben, Browns, or Aaron Rodgers. I got to go Aaron Rodgers. The Browns matchup is very nice for Ben, but Rodgers can't be benched at this point. And who would have thought, I was advocating to bench Rodgers everywhere last year, but this is the FU Rodgers tour. He's had some duds against Brady recently, and the way he's fired up and playing this year, I think he's going to rip it. So yeah, give me Aaron Rodgers versus Tampa Bay. Cooks, Hilton, Singletary in the flex. I'm going Brandon Cooks there. If my prediction holds true about the Titans steamrolling, they're going to need to throw a lot, the Texans, and you can certainly throw on the Titans. They're not a great defense, Ian. So yeah, I go Cooks there. Ian Stanford 6. Rojo over CD for sure. Me personally, yes, especially with Fournette active but limited. I just think 15, 20 carries against that bad Packers run D. I think what is it, 6th, 7th most points to running backs. I'm riding that. CD again, I love, but if I can bench him this week and see how he reacts to Dalton, I do. I think he's going to be okay. I think his game out of all the receivers might mesh the best with Dalton, but if I can bench him, I will. And that's what I do this week. Sebastian Alex, Matt Ryan, or Big Ben. I'm going to go Big Ben there against the Browns. Ryan's crapped his pants too much. Now, you got Julio coming back, and that's when Ryan, he's got his big twin towers and a shootout potential game. Like, we could get Matt Ryan back now with his weapons all in cabinet. But I just, Big Ben in a good matchup, higher floor, similar ceiling. That's where I'm leaning. Let me just get a quick swig of water here, folks. Good stuff. MVS or Judy, PPR for dedication. They got real no weapons there for the Broncos. You got Locke coming back, which in theory should be a better thing for Judy. So I'm going to go Judy and see how he does. Gilmore, the Pats defense has just not been nearly as impenetrable. So yeah, I'll go Judy there. Hurst or Gesicki for Daniel Howland. I'm going to roll Gesicki there. I'm rolling Dolphins are probably the answer for most questions today. I think they're going to steamroll them. Chino, Grigio, Hardman or Beasley PPR. Let's fire up that upside of Hardman, baby. I mean, Beasley's just like, yay, I got 6 catches for 60 yards, which is, it has its own value, but Hardman's like, maybe I get you 150 tonight. Way more fun. Way more fun. Omar F., my man, needs one between Debo, Hardman, Fulgham. Again, going Hardman. Fulgham does have some real upside, but out of all the blowups of last week, like I fully believe in Claypool. Fulgham, I think, good contested catch rate in college, and like that's what we saw all Sunday. It did it against a good secondary, but I don't know. It's Fulgham. Like, that's terrifying. I like Hardman's upside. I'd rather be tied to Mahomes, right? Absolutely. Preven Sai, DJ Moore, Claypool, Drake, pick 2. And you love the show. I appreciate that. I'm going to definitely go Claypool. And then I think I go Drake above Moore. I'm very nervous for Moore against that Chicago D today. Slayton or Edelman, PPR for Giuseppe. I like Slayton. Higher floor, similar ceilings. Give it to me. I have Fulgham instead on waivers. Should you start him instead of Slayton? Nah, I'd go Darius there, personally. Jimmy McGinnis, Lindsey, Boyd, White. I like Boyd. I don't know. Has he done? I'm getting a lot of Boyd questions, so I'm not an owner in most spots. Has he been like a dud these last couple of weeks? Because I see a guy that was dominating with Burrow early on. I know he had a tough matchup these last couple, so maybe I have to reconsider. Lindsey certainly gets the volume today, but I like Boyd personally. Just answered that one. Jimmy McGinnis, Robbie A., Odell, Devontae Parker. Loving me some Parker today. Dolphins. Full PPR, pick 3. David Montgomery, Juju, Odell, Terry, Claypool. Okay, we got some good options here, Matthew. This is tough. I feel like Montgomery against Carolina, even though I almost always say sit Montgomery, Carolina is one of the few times you're just like, I can't sit them. One touchdown happening, maybe two. So I like Montgomery. I can't play both Steelers receivers, so you got to pick your favorite. I think both are great plays today. I personally won't bench Claypool after last week. Like I got to have him in. And then I'd rather have Terry in than Odell. So I go Montgomery, Terry, Claypool out of these options. I'm not mad at all if you prefer Juju to Claypool. Odell's kind of the only clear sit, and it really isn't that clear. Like it's not, but he's the one I'm benching, and then Juju I'd bench over Claypool. But they also the Browns do get destroyed by slot guys, so like this could be Juju's week. That's a really tough one. Wealth of riches there, but yeah, Montgomery, McLaurin's, Claypool's who I'm going personally. John Schuler, Moore or Slayton? I like Slayton more today. I don't like that matchup for Moore. He hasn't been very consistent as is, and this is his toughest matchup yet. Respect the Crowder name, my guy. Love Crowder. That was what it's all about, fella. I got to bring respect to this guy. Second most fantasy points per game and yards, most yards per game. 107 catches in every single contest. 2 or 3 have had touchdowns. The dude is balling. Double-digit targets every week. Fella, I don't get it. Why nobody respects the name. Totally agree. He's the only Jets player worth a shit. Absolutely truth. Morning. Good luck, everyone. Mitchell, great to see you. Have to play Claypool and Juju this week. Sound good or throw in Higgins over one? I think I roll both Steelers today. I think both could light it up. So that's a play where I'd have them both in. You know, there is a line, of course, but Higgins I don't think is worth it enough. One flex, one RBR, Hilaire, Mixon, Julio, McLaurin. I'm going to ride it out with Hilaire. Might be his swan song here. And then out of the flex, I'd probably just go both running backs and go CEH Mixon. The upside play is Julio. If you Slindy 14 Jr. are a big underdog, then you got to go Julio over Mixon. But otherwise, I'm riding the pure volume of those two stallions. That's where I would lean. DJ Moore, Seth Dvorak, or Debo. I got to go Moore there. Now, I'm not into Moore this week, but that's Debo. Until I see it, I'm waiting it out. Absolutely. And again, just a reminder, guys, any likes, comments, shares, especially shares, help us get discovered, help more people find us. And if you're looking to help us out, hopefully helping your fantasy teams, that's obviously the goal of all this. So glad you guys choose to spend your Saturday with us, or Sunday rather, morning, for the pregame and hopefully the postgame. Show up later, right after Red Zone tonight. But if you're willing to give this a thumbs up, regardless of where you're at, even the heart, I see some loves coming in. Ooh, feeling the love, Wolfpack. I appreciate it. And of course on YouTube and Periscope as well. The thumbs up button helps us just get discovered by more people, gets me to answer more questions. And that's what we're all here for. So cheers again, Wolfpack. Let's keep it rolling. My bad guy. John Brown and Cooks, Brandon Cooks, damn autocorrect. Okay. So now I don't even remember who these picks were, Justin. Let me scroll back up real quick. So we got Drake, McCole Hardman, Antonio Gibson, John Brown, no, Brandon Cooks. Okay. I'm going to probably go the running backs here and go Drake and Gibson personally, is where I'm leaning. I do like Brandon Cooks a lot today though, but yeah, I'm going to go the running backs personally. Yes, I answered that one, Juan Pena. Definitely like Josh Allen today. Fitzmagic or Goff for Stephanie Pragan. I'm going to go Fitzmagic, baby. Just every time. 25 points a week since week 1 against the Pats. He's put up 25 points every single time. Now you get the Jets all day, baby. Ride my Fitzmagic train. But Goff, obviously intriguing against that San Fran team that got destroyed by none other than Fitzmagic. But we're looking for Goff to be Fitzmagic if we play him. Like, let's just play the guy himself. And how much fun is it to root for the Magic Man? Like, obviously, the best experience. So yeah, give me Fitz. After what Carr did last week, absolutely, yes, I agree. I think, Juan, he's answering your question. We saw what Carr can do. Fitz, exactly. Obviously, Josh Allen can do that or more. Fitzmagic or Matt Ryan, okay. This is where it might get the line get drawn because Julio's back, Jimmy. But again, it's like, okay, give me the Magic Man. We've seen, Matt Ryan crap himself 2 weeks in a row. And Gurley's really rolling in the red zone right now. So that's tough, but I think I go the Magic Man. Rest of the season, half PPR, Moore or Chark? don't love Jason DeLuch, either of them that much, but I think Moore is kind of coming out of his cage, doing just fine. Today, I don't love either. I think Moore, that offense just intrigues me. The Joe Brady, they get another matchup with Atlanta in the near future. Chark is just dinged up. Every week he's out, in and out, and it's terrifying, personally. Start 2 for Derek, Corey, Flournoy. Mark Ingram, Dame Harris, or P. Ryan. Oof. You got to start 2 of them. We're in some trouble here, Derek. Oh, man. I think I'm going P. Ryan over that crop just because of maybe dump-off mode. It could be a complete nothing, but if you're that desperate to flex 2 of these guys, you need upside, and the upside is with P. Ryan. So I'm going to go him, and then I think Ingram, and just hope he plods in today against a pretty soft Eagles front. That's kind of where I lean. Harris, that matchup's so tough against the Broncos. He's also a good bet for some carries, though. Like P. Ryan and Harris might be okay. I think I'm going Ingram and P. Ryan, though, is where the gut's lying. Flex Henderson, Ronald Jones, or Edmonds for Self-Tanksley. I love Ronald today. Again, Fournette's expected to be active but limited. Great matchup here against the Packers' pathetic run Ds. So, yeah, I go Ronald Jones over those guys. Parker or B. Cooks for James Smith. I'm going to go Parker. Love me that Dolphins matchup against the Jets today. There's very few receivers you can pretty much pen in for 10 targets a week. And that's like almost like a floor for Parker. Fitz just loves this guy, and he's got a secondary that he can destroy today. So, yeah, like me some Parker quite a bit, James Smith. Cooks or Hardman in the flex for half PPR, Katie Jagier. Both big play, upside, dart throws. I'm going to roll Cooks if I had the option. Love them both. So, yeah, Seamus, it was pick 2. I know there was 3 good running backs. I think it was you have to remind me who they are again. Sorry, brother. Omar F. AJ Green, if they leave him there. I mean, maybe I drop Jamal Williams for him, but if something happened to Jones, I don't want AJ Green in my fantasy locker room. Do you hear celebrating himself? Yeah, I can gut it out with my hamstring. I'm so tough. You guys should know by now he's like AJ Green up to Corey Davis levels of hatred. I don't think you have to own him by any means. Peter Ellis. Hey, need 2 running backs, PPR. Options are Singletary, Harris, Edmonds. I think I bench Harris of those 2, Peter. I roll Singletary, Edmonds. Let's get it, boys. 909 Orbits. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. Hardman or DJ Moore, PPR for Giuseppe. That's tough. I don't love DJ today, so I think I'd rather have that upside of Hardman. Todd Roos, good morning from the great PNW. Please help me. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Need 1 wide receiver. Chenault, Landry, McCole. I'm liking Chenault out of those options, with or without Chark, is my play there. Todd R. Roos. Mimsy. LaMichael Pirine or J.K. Dobbins, Gesicki or Tunyon? Whew, good questions, Mimsy. I think I go Pirine just because, again, literally Gus Edwards leading this team in snaps for running backs. Last week, Ingram had 11 carries, and that was the most a Ravens running back seen all year. You never know if it's going to be a passing situation or a running situation. That's the whole design, is how unpredictable they are going to be. Is it working in real life? Maybe. Is it working in fantasy? God, no. I avoid that Ravens running back scene and just hope Pirine catches 5 or 6 balls in PPR. And then of the tight ends, again, great options. I have them neck and neck in the rankings. I think I keep riding that Tunyon gravy train, though. That's where I'm leaning. Any faith that, yes, another Tunyon question. I think he does. I mean, why not, right? He seems to me like the second most trusted target. Now, of course, Adams coming back tonight, Devontae Adams, is going to hurt his target share. But if he's the number 2 behind Adams, which it looks like, a touchdown in 3 straight weeks, multiple, obviously. He's not going to do Atlanta things with Devontae Adams there. But could he get 60 in a score? Absolutely. Could he find the end zone twice? Sure. I think this keeps rolling. Worked out with Kittle all offseason. I'm a Tunyon fan. Wesley Burton. Absolutely. New York Giants defense or Arizona for Ricky Blaze? I lean Arizona. The Washington matchup's pretty good for the Giants, too. Give me the Giants, yeah. I like that one. Their defense has been, not bad. As bad as the team is as a whole, the defense has actually played decently. Hardman, Judy, or Gallup for unreleased leaks and snippets. What? Okay, unreleased. I go Hardman. That's where I'm leaning personally. Like Judy and Gallup's upside too, but Hardman, anytime he's getting a decent smattering of snaps, he's got to be in there. Need two wide receivers: Cooper, Crowder, McLaurin. I'm definitely not benching Crowder. He's the real deal. And then I feel like Cooper, Dalton's scary, sure, but he's too good. Terry could draw the Bradbury shadow. I mean, you got a wealth of riches here, Jonathan DeSantos. Love them both. But I'm going to go Cooper Crowder personally. KH Flight. Chark is active. Okay, so he's got interesting. Does it hurt Chenault? Not that much, if at all. It helps Minshew a bit. But that's the implications to me. I don't honestly know I want Chark in my lineup, despite a good matchup against Detroit. Let me know who your other options are today. Harris or McKinnon for Chino Grigio. I'm going to go Harris there. Can't go to that McKinnon well after last week. Unreleased leaks and snips. Answered that one already for you. Hardman. Need two wide receivers. Cool. Remember last year when Dalvin went down and Madison was chalk, but then Mike fucking Boone scored 2 T's. So yeah, 909 orbits. Like I totally remember that. And I'm fading Madison in DFS. I mean, he's only $100 cheaper than Derrick Henry. Get fucking Henry in, for God's sakes. Like, he's going to steamroll the Texans. Why get cute? Because there is that risk that Boone could just be a douchebag today. Like, absolutely. I don't think it happens, but there's certainly more risk. And Scott Barrett outlined this really well in his article on Fantasy Points, talking about how do you play Madison this week in seasonal? Absolutely. But DFS-wise, even though the Falcons have surrendered the second most points to running backs, it's been only like the 10th fewest rushing yards, and it's been so much of the receiving work. Now, that doesn't mean Madison can't get the receiving work done. He's just a capable receiver. But if that's where most of the damage comes, and it's not really on the ground, I mean, Madison's still a great play. Probably going to get 100 in a TD. But yes, there is risk there, more than people are kind of acknowledging, I think. Gamer NXC, PPR trade, Ronald Jones, Lindsey, and Ayuk for Taylor and White. I always like being on the side of the best player, and Taylor's far and away in that one the best player. So yeah, I like that. I like that trade. I think you cleaned up. Well done, Gamer. Sorry, I missed this earlier. Standard sit one. Slayton, Gibson, Singletary, Godwin. I'm going to bench out of those guys Singletary. Gurley or Mostert. Ooh, good options. I can't really bench Gurley at this rate, though. Crushing it right now, Steven Hernandez. Where is CJ? Great question, Jair. Who knows? Zach Weldon. Pick 2 running backs, 1 flex. Myles Gaskin, Joe Mixon, James Robinson, Jamison Crowder. Great options here. Wow, Zach. I think I'm out of the running backs. I bench Gaskin, and then I keep Crowder in. So Gaskin's fine on the bench, even though I love him this week. Great play, but yeah, out of those great options, I'm going to bench him. Chark playing. Do you still go Tannehill over Minshew, Giuseppe? Yep. Doesn't make a difference for me. Absolutely. I mean, it makes a difference. Minshew's definitely higher, but I still love Tannehill this week. Hunt or Mike Davis PPR, and Fuller or Woods for Cody Hoxie. Man, you can't have both Hunt or Davis in. I love them both, but out of those guys, I'm going to go Davis. Until McCaffrey's back, it's like Davis is a lock for 20 points. Hunt's got a tough matchup, as good as he is. Want him in my lineup too. I don't know. How do you not have both those guys in? And then I go Fuller. I like that game, as I've said, the Titans to just steamroll, and that to create a nice, they're going to have to keep up. So I think Fuller does well in that run it back. Slendy 14 Jr. 1 running back, 1 flex. Hilaire, Mixon, Julio Jones, McLaurin. I think I've answered this one. So guys, you can ask your questions multiple times, but also don't leave and then come back. Stay with us here. Hilaire, Mixon, Julio Jones, and McLaurin. I'm going to go Hilaire, Mixon, unless I really need the upside Slindy, and that would be Julio Jones in the flex, like I said before. Standard wide receiver, A.J. Brown or Hollywood. Give me A.J. Of the Browns, definitely. Looked great in his first game back. Not overly concerned with Roby. All the guys you asked about earlier are active. Thank you, Mike. Waiting on Slate and Giants. Haven't submitted inactives yet. Thank you. I appreciate you watching out, my man. And anybody tuned in, we're now at the second hour here. Any likes, as always, shares in any groups you're in for Facebook. If you're in any like help groups, they typically allow it, and it does great for us to get more discovery, more questions on in. And of course, the thumbs up buttons, wherever you are, also help with that. It would mean a lot to us if you haven't already given it a thumbs up. Thanks so much, guys. Baba Gadoosh. Hey, Wolf, Henderson, or Lindsey. I'm going to go, I think, Henderson here. He looked to really have that job back. Three-headed nightmares are always scary, though. So you know what? Lindsey's getting all the sheer volume for sure. I think I lean that one. I think I lean Lindsey. That's tough, though. Definitely tough. Hardman or Debo? Give me a Hardman for sure, Jeff Marcus. Anything tied to Mahomes with Watkins out. I like it. Standard scoring, Julio or Hollywood? I'm going to roll with Julio. Just a great matchup I'm into today. Top tight end on DraftKings for James Smith. I mean, it matters what your salary is on the main slate. Like, of course, Andrews is the best option, but I find myself punting and going Irv Smith Jr. at 2,500. Love that play. Let you afford up elsewhere. Could he be a complete zero? Sure, of course. Jonnu Smith at 5,200 also. If I'm not going to go all the way to Andrews, you got to love Jonnu. 5 touchdowns in 4 games. Defense, I'm rolling the Dolphins, 2,900. A great play. No Becton in for the Jets. So to me, I'm all about that. Absolutely. Hardman or Lindsey, full PPR. I'm going to go Lindsey there. Unless, again, you're a severe underdog, then you got to go for the upside of Hardman. But Lindsey's the bet for 15 touches. I'm going to roll with that in most cases. Star Sniper, 35. Full PPR, pick 2. Smith, Higgins, and Ingram. I'll bench Ingram there. Half PPR, pick 1. DJ Moore, Cooks, or T. Higgins. Comes down to Higgins versus Cooks for me. I think I'm going to roll Cooks there. Pick 2 running backs, Zach Weldon. Gaskin, Mixon, Robinson, Crowder. I already answered that one. Anthony Fellas, CG on that Pedialyte IV. Who knows? John Matthew Zeiter. Browns or Steelers. I think I go Steelers. I got to keep up with the Steelers. Yeah. I was going to get cute with it, but I'm not. Steelers are better. Just better D. Rest of season, Dalton or Burrow? Shade 721. I think I like Burrow because he's just a much better player, but I do really intrigued to see what Dalton does with this weapons cabinet and this bad defense where he's going to have to keep on slinging. PPR, Higgins, Damian Harris, or Ertz at flex. I go Higgins out of those options. Young Sheik, 17. Crowder, Godwin, Henderson, Christian Kirk, pick 2, half PPR. Godwin and Crowder, worlds above the other two for me. Kirk, McLaurin, 89. Full PPR, need 2. Joe Mixon, Juju, or ODB. I'm going to bench Beckham there. Matthew Tacker. That's where I'm leaning there. B. Cooks or McCole Hardman or Marvin Jones. I like Cooks the most, but all those guys fall in that same bucket of like blow up big bomb TD or not much. So that's tricky. There's no real like this one's clear cut above the others. I think Cooks, after blowing up last week could kind of keep it going. So I'm going to roll him, but love them all. Sway Thray Macus. Which 2 should I start in the flex? Drake, Singletary, Slayton, Freeman, Hardman, Fulgham, P. Williams, half PPR. I think I go a lot of good options here. I'm not going Williams or Fulgham because I would go Hardman over either of them too. I don't love Singletary with Moss back. I think I'm going to go Drake and Slayton. That's a tough one though. They're all so neck and neck. But to me, I like Drake and Slayton. Jeremiah, good to see you, man. Got Dalton, Tannehill, Bridgewater, and Locke. You got a ton there. Should play Dalton and Tannehill, right? Yeah, this week I would agree with that. Must be 2 QBs you're asking about. But yeah, Tannehill my favorite, and then Dalton would be next. Answered that one. Need to sit 1. Full PPR, Juju, Jamison, Crowder, Julio, or Cooper Kupp for Matt Daly. I go on the bench, probably benching Kupp. It's Kupp or Juju. I'm keeping Crowder and Julio in. Comes down to Cup or Juju. I think I'm going to go Cup personally. Nathan Vahi. All my guys are on buys, so I have an RB in the flex, but for my 4 options, I need 3. Gaskins, Hilaire, Davis, or Taylor. So I've got to bench one of those. I'm going to bench Gaskins personally. Someone dropped Bell, so I snagged him. Absolutely. Should I be worried Bell might cut into the workload? Yes, absolutely. But I still think Hilaire is going to be underpriced. I'm liking that. Who do you love on DraftKings for rip picks? I'm all about the Titans today. That's where I'm leaning. So Henry, Tannehill, A.J. Brown, some decent chalk for A.J. Brown and Henry, but I think that's the right chalk to eat on the slate, not Madison. We'll see how that goes. And then I love getting action as anybody would on that Falcons and Vikings game. Going Thielen and Ridley or Julio and Jefferson, like whatever combo. I like getting 2 receivers from that game. Irv Smith at 2,500, also very intriguing at tight end. Those are some of my favorite plays for sure. It fits Magic at 5,900 if you don't trust the Tannehill to keep it going. Gotta love them. And Gaskin 5,400. So I'm loving the Dolphins against the Jets. Loving Dolphins D there too. Love the Vikings and Falcons matchup to get some action in there. And then I personally am buying into that shootout. I think the Texans and the Titans, and especially the Titans side, could go crazy today. Goff or Minshew for Daniel Howland? I think I'm going to go Goff there. That's close, especially with Chark now in, but I'm going to go Goff. Should I play Bird over my options from my first question? PPR for Van Deventer. No, I don't remember the first options, but probably not. Diego De Leon, PPR, start 3, Godwin, Crowder, Kupp, Claypool. So I have to bench one, and I think out of those options, all great, but I bench Kupp over the others. Mike Davis with a bad matchup. Nothing's bad for Mike Davis. The dude can get it done. And the Bears are actually much more susceptible to running backs AMC edits than they are wide receivers. So I love Mike Davis, definitely. Drake, fuck Drake. If I can bench Drake, I want to. Starting Ridley, but need 2 more for Craig Sarno. My man, good to see you. Coming in late today, but the picture is right at least. Anderson, Hollywood, OBJ, or Visca. I think I'm going to go Robbie, despite the tough matchup. Great play. Send Hollywood or OBJ. Again, boom, both 2 boom plays. I think I lean Hollywood. Let me look at it. I actually don't know off the top of my head who I'd have. Not a clear answer for me. I think I'm benching Visca, even though I like Visca a lot today. Those guys are just too juicy of talents for me to hit the bench with. So I have Marquise Brown 25, Anderson 21, and where do I have Odell in here? Odell at 27. So, that's very close. 27 for Odell, 25 for Marquise, 21 for Robbie. They're all in the same tier too. But out of them, I'm gonna probably go Robbie and Hollywood personally. Gibson or McLaurin for Mike Clay. I leave McLaurin there. Again, Bradbury, some pretty sketchy coverage, but I don't think he'll have them all day. A.J. Brown and Tannehill stack or Fitzmagic D. Parker. Love them both, but I prefer the A.J. Brown Tannehill one. Aaron Van Deventer, Bird, MVS, P. Ryan, Washington, or Ward, PPR flex. I think I answered that one earlier, Van Deventer, and I said MVS for the upside. P. Ryan would be my next choice. Mateo, my dude, starting Parker. Need wide receiver 2 between DJ Moore and Chenault. I'm going to go Chenault there. DJ Moore sketches me out against Chicago today. Minshew, Brady, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan. I lean. Oh, good options, your boy Drew. Not Minshew. Minshew's my least favorite of those. I think Brady with his guys back and against Rodgers, prime time, 4:00 without much else on. I think him, but Cousins is obviously in a great spot too. So maybe Cousins, Atlanta. He's so good against man coverage, and they run it at a pretty high clip. So yeah, I'm going to go Cousins there. Trey S. Brandon Cooks or Singletary. Thanks, man. I'm going to go Cooks with Moss expected to be best. Jonnu Smith or Tunyon, both great options. Nathan Vahey, but I love Smith. Higher floor, same ceilings. He's a touchdown a week, it seems. Evan Ingram or Hawkinson for Vision Assault. I'm going to go Hawkinson. Don't trust Ingram right now. Slayton's active too. Boom. So all those questionable receivers are in today. Chark or TY, wide receiver 2. Chark, don't love it, but TY is just garbage this year. C. Chav on YouTube. Philip Lindsay, Jerry Jeudy, White, or Robbie Anderson. Need one. I'm going to keep rolling Robbie if those are the options. Don't love it today, but he should see his 7-8 catches. Woods or Hollywood PPR. I think I go Robert Woods, 909 orbits. BV Duck, second flex PPR. Philip Linz. Oh, lost my place for a second here. Whoop. Definitely lost my place. Hold on. Where did it go? Scrolled up too high there. John Smith. Here we are. Okay. Sorry about that. Phil Lindsay, BV Duck, or Debo Samuel. Go Philip Lindsay for sure. Is my play. Sheer volume. And Debo, again, if I'm going to wait till I see that. If he blows up, awesome. I know I can get him back in next week, but I'm not trusting that till I see it. PPR, start 3, Godwin, Crowder, Kupp, or Claypool. I'm going to go with Kupp on the bench there, Diego. Henderson or Higgins for the flex. Henderson. The matchup's not great for Higgins today. Hollywood or Julio, half PPR. I'm favored, so don't want Julio to just shit the bed for me. Yeah, but full go. I don't think he's out there. I'm going there. Julio. Full PPR, pick 1. Zeke is starting. Okay, so we need Sanders, Rojo, Hunt, Robinson. I'm going to go Robinson. I know Hunt is a great option, though, too. But, yeah, Robinson against Detroit. Hunt versus that's a tough one, David. And then 1 flex. So I'm going to go Hunt and Robinson is the 2 I'm starting there. Even on vacay, I'm here. That's what I like to hear. Thanks for tuning in. Wolfpack faithful there, David Campanile. Pick 1 for Seamus. 1 running back, 1 flex. Madison, Mixon, Taylor, Hardman. Madison and Taylor is where I'm going. I'm going to bench Mixon. 3rd time's a charm trying to ask these questions. Wolf, my man Ishmael. Need a flex out of Woods, Gibson, Harris. What you thinking? Not Harris. Comes down to Woods or Gibson. Ishmael, that's tough. I think I'm going to lean Woods. Seems like a higher floor, similar ceilings, but Gibson I'm just waiting for that blow up too. You'd hate to have it on the bench. 20 points a couple of weeks ago, no joke. But I'm going to go Woods if I had those guys. Fusion V, WDIS PPR. I don't know what that means, but cool. PPR, Robbie Anderson, Michael Gallup, T. Higgins. Let me get my Robbie Anderson in there. No doubt. Fusion V. Jeriah Conover on YouTube here. Godwin or Kenny. Love them both, but yeah, Kenny against the Jags. Fire him on up. Not as risky as Godwin. Mr. Gibbons, great to see you. Full PPR, A.J. Brown or D. Parker, and then Madison or Taylor. Also, when you break out the Steel Reserve instead of the fancy craft stuff, this and that Steel Reserve, only break it out if I can have it taped to my forearm and hum it out of my Lady 4 off the window. But I'm going to go AJB over Parker, but Parker certainly safer. Man, you're loaded, but if you need the floor, it's Parker. I have these guys literally 11 and 12 in the rankings, Billy, but Brown to me is the upside stab and the guy I go 99% of the time, unless you just need pure safety. And then we got Madison or Taylor. I'm going to lean Madison. It has Wilkins. Can you guys comment in? Is Wilkins ruled out? I haven't seen yet what his status is, because that could be different. If Taylor's going to have that early role all to himself, no Wilkins annoyance for 20, 30% of the snaps. Ridiculous, disgusting stuff. Give me Taylor if that's not the case. But Madison against Atlanta is too juicy to sit. I have that one in. Should I trade Gibson for Waller? I'm streaming with yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's fair value for sure. Z-Balls 5. Chark or Chenault, full PPR. Chenault, safer. No injury to worry about today. Diego De Leon, Ebron or Gesicki? Give me Gesicki, definitely. Ebron a good matchup against Cleveland, the second most points to tight ends, but Gesicki's just been getting it done. Do you think David Johnson will have a big game? He's getting slower and slower by the week. Matchups there for some points, but I don't know if he ever has a huge game. But could you get 60, 70 and a touchdown? Yeah. But if you're looking for like 30 points, I don't see that coming. Wesley Burton, Rodgers or Mahomes? Shit, Wesley. Got both those guys. I'm going to go Mahomes. That Bills defense is pathetic. And it should be a back and forth battle. But damn, I think Rodgers is like my QB 4 or 3. So it's like you got two of the top options there. Diego De Leon, PPR, McKinnon or White. I go White there. 10 touches in his only action so far, or most recent action rather. I think that they're going to have to attack this team through the air. That's how you beat the Broncos. A very obvious run, pass funnel. Great against the run. Lowest points to running backs, but that's not White. Different. He's a PPR monster, and they're going to just pepper the middle of the field, in my opinion. PPR, pick 1 for David Campanile. Diggs is starting. Yep, keep him in. Edelman, Brown, Chenault. I'm going to go Brown, A.J. Brown there. Love him. Top 12 for me this week. Dylan Vargera, Gibson or Hollywood, half PPR. I like Gibson a little bit more. Hollywood makes me nervous, just the disappearing acts, and now he's going to draw Slay today. That's a concern. Definitely a concern. Bobby Schmurder. Should I start Cooper, Lamb, or Jefferson? Pick 2. I am going to bench Lamb of those options. I don't want to have both guys depending on the Cowboys. I don't want to be that dependent on them. And I love Jefferson today, so I'll bench Lamb out of those options. Wilkins is active. Thank you, Mike. So that, lessens Taylor's upside a little bit. At some point, he's just going to take over, and against the Bengals, it could be as early as this week. Alrighty, folks. Looks like that is all we got for news in action today. Hopefully I got to all your questions. I will rip, I'll be bouncing back and forth between now and getting my own lineups ready, finalizing my rankings and getting those up for this Fantasy Pros competition. So feel free to kind of keep hitting me up on Twitter, RotoStreetWolf. I can answer any questions you guys have that pop up between now and then. But Wolfpack, best of luck in week 6. Again, we'll be back live tonight, right after Red Zone. Love to just kind of capitalize on the raw emotion of the day, go through the lessons learned, answer any remaining questions you might have, preview the DFS and prop bet slates for later tonight. So it's going to be a blast. Let's keep the fantasy good times rolling. Should be right around 7:30. Whenever those games wind down, we get the touchdown montage. Our goal is to go live right after. So you'll see me, the truth, Seamus, maybe CJ's props. Come on down, post-game tailgate tonight. Thanks again so much for tuning in today. I, of course, am the Wolf of RotoStreet, RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves. Best of luck in week 6. Hope we're celebrating some wins later together at 7:40 in the post-game tailgate.